I tell everybody who goes to a Donald Trump event, if you get to ask a question, just ask him how. First, he says he's going to build a wall across the entire border between the United States and Mexico. How? How is he going to make the Mexicans pay for the wall? How? They are a sovereign nation. He will do it. The fact is that he's going to have to answer that question, and he will. You know, George, this is February. This is February of a campaign, and let's say this: you look at everybody else on that stage. And there have been many more specifics from a lot of other folks on that stage. And that was part of my argument during the campaign. But there I am as somebody who's running. Wait. George, that's what would you expect Mexico to say? That's, of course, what they're going to say.
So what's the mechanism? How is Donald Trump going to force Mexico to pay?
Listen, I think that there is great ways to be able to use diplomacy and other tools to be able to come to compromise with nations that are both our neighbors and around the world. And we'll work on those things. And that's what leadership does. Strong leadership is able to exert those things and be able to talk to folks about what advantages and disadvantages are of certain policies. The fact of the matter is that there won't be any question. Mr. Trump, what would you do on Social Security? When I become president, the entire country is going to get so wealthy, so amazingly wealthy and rich, that we're not going to have to worry about Social Security. How? I think that we need to do something on Social Security. I've made that really clear. And so, listen, Donald Trump and I are not going to agree on every issue.
But this is the signature issue of your campaign.
But it doesn't mean that you have to agree on every issue, George. It's not the signature issue of my campaign. The signature issue of my campaign was national security, keeping America safe and secure from terrorist attacks, and making us a better ally and neighbor around the world. That was the signature issue.
I want to get to that.
Now, Social Security is an important issue, and I've laid out my views on that, and I'll certainly share my views with the candidate. The fact of the matter is, though, when you look up on that stage, no one else has a plan on Social Security, George.
But no one else on Thursday.
No one else has a plan on Social Security. So why aren't we testing all these other candidates as well
I've asked all the
on that
candidates
issue?
Lots of questions on that issue.
And none of them have an answer.
But the question at the debate on Thursday night, he says the answer.
The idea of banning all Muslims for this country is ridiculous. And the reason it's ridiculous is because you don't need to do that to make America safe. When Donald Trump said that, he was dead wrong. And he's dead wrong now. That's not what he says any longer. He's backed off of that position over the course of time. But that's a big difference, George. That's a big difference from where his position was. That's a big difference from where the position was. And what we need to do.
So you endorse the one he has now?
Excuse me. Let me answer, George. What we need to do is have a coherent national security policy that's very clear, that says that we need to go after folks who want to do harm to this country. And having good, competent law enforcement. Mr. Trump has talked about the